Welcome to Stories with Gaming, where drama meets gameplay. From outrageous family secrets to quiet revenge, toxic friendships to moments of redemption, we cover it all, straight from Reddit's wildest threads. While the story unfolds, you'll see gameplay in the background, sometimes intense, sometimes chill, but always a perfect match for the chaos or calm of each tale. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for your daily update. I was 8 the first time someone called me a freak. It wasn't dramatic, just a boy at school who saw me reading a JavaScript manual during lunch and wrinkled his nose like I was contagious. "That's for boys," he said. "You're weird." He didn't mean it like a knife, but it cut just the same. That was the year I stopped talking much. Not because I had nothing to say, just because no one really listened when I did. People hear the loud ones. I was not loud. Instead, I watched. I listened. I learned. My father said girls don't need computers, just good husbands. He said it like a joke. My mother didn't laugh, but she didn't argue either. They thought it was a phase, my obsession with old keyboards, broken routers, forgotten desktops. I built my first working PC out of 2 half-dead machines I found in a junkyard pile behind the school lab. Nobody noticed but the janitor. That was fine. I wasn't doing it for applause. By 11, I was coding scripts. By 13, I was breaking into firewalled school servers just to prove I could. Not to hurt anything, just to leave a trace. Just to remind the system, I was here. I never got caught. That was part of the thrill. By high school, the jokes got louder. Boys called me bot girl. Teachers said I had potential but no social skills. Even the girls thought I was strange. My cousin once said I'd be the kind of woman who ends up married to her computer. My aunt laughed. I remember the sound. It was loud. It stayed with me. But I didn't cry. I documented. I started keeping a log, names, timestamps, keywords, a mental repository of every insult, every fake smile, every person who underestimated me. It was my earliest form of threat detection. They said college would be different, that I'd find my people. They were wrong. My mail group project partners ignored my input and stole my code. One of them even submitted my script as his own in a scholarship application. I found out through a university newsletter. I didn't confront him. I intercepted the email logs instead, copied the original timestamps, sent it anonymously to the committee. He lost the scholarship. He never knew why. That was the first time I tasted quiet revenge. It didn't feel like justice. It felt like gravity. Right. Natural. After college, I was hired at a mid-level tech firm as a systems analyst. I fixed what no one else could. I automated their legacy problems. I solved 2 security flaws in my first week. My reward? Someone else got credit. A man who barely understood the code. I watched him nod through meetings, pretending. I watched my team high-five him. So I built a script. I called it Trace. It monitored Slack messages, flagging passive aggression, sexism, sarcasm, and dishonesty based on speech patterns. I tuned it with real examples, most of them from people I worked with. It ran quietly. No one knew. But I did. I watched the lies unfold in real time. I archived every thread. Every message they thought disappeared. One night, my mother sent a group text. "Can you help your brother? He's struggling. Maybe you could spare something." It was casual, familiar, like we were close, like they hadn't rolled their eyes at my coding nonsense for 20 years. My brother, the golden one, the loud one, the one who said I'd end up broke, bitter, and alone with a hard drive full of regrets. Now he was broke, and they remembered I existed. I didn't reply, but I opened his accounts that night, banking, socials, private group chats. It took 12 minutes. I didn't touch anything, yet. Something clicked that week. Or maybe it had been building for years and finally hit threshold. I wasn't just documenting anymore. I was preparing. I had the tools, I had the knowledge, and I had decades of data, years of being overlooked, dismissed, mocked. I wasn't looking for sympathy. I was looking for truth. And maybe, just maybe, I was ready to do something about it. I got promoted at 25. No celebration, no team drinks, no cake with bad frosting. Just a calendar invite that said, "Effective immediately, Senior Systems Security Engineer." I stared at it for a second, then minimized the window and got back to work. I'd learned by then, recognition is for people who play politics. I didn't play. I engineered. Quietly, precisely. They relied on me more than they admitted. They just didn't want to say it out loud. I didn't need them to. I'd already been running Eyes Wide for months by then, my side project. A watcher, a collector. It didn't break laws, it didn't breach systems. It simply listened. Emails, Slack, Git histories, system logins, calendar behavior. I trained it to identify manipulation, subtle sabotage, patterns of exclusion dressed up as professionalism. At first, it was just for work, just to protect myself. Then one night, while checking the logs, I saw something strange. An IP I hadn't seen in years. My brother's. He was using the same username from college. Lazy. It took 2 clicks to connect the dots. I watched him scroll through financial forums, searching for debt consolidation loopholes. I watched him lie to a friend in DMs. My sister's in tech. She'll help. She has to. I watched him Google how to guilt trip someone you grew up with. That one made me laugh. Then I opened the folder called FamAm Archive Full Logs. It wasn't just him. My aunt had a WhatsApp group titled Traditional Values Lost. I was a frequent character. My mother posted that I was too proud now to call her own parents. They told everyone I forgot them. They forgot how they talked about me when I was a teenager with a command prompt and nobody to talk to. A few days later, my dad called. "Mira, your brother's in trouble. He trusted the wrong person with his money. He might lose the house." I didn't say anything. He added, "I know we haven't always been supportive, but we're proud of you. You've made it." Made what exactly? I told him I'd send money, and I did. But before I hit send, I added one more layer to Eyes Wide. Facial recognition scanning from video chats. Sentiment tagging from audio tone. If they were going to come to me with lies, I wanted the whole script. While my family was trying to rebrand their history, my team was busy pretending to like me. One guy, Jordan, pitched my system cleanup protocol as his own. Another, Diane, sent a private Slack saying I was paranoid and hard to collaborate with. They didn't know I'd been collecting everything since the first day they called me cold. I archived their edits, their timestamps, their browser extensions. Then I waited. And when Jordan tried to push through a feature built on my monitoring tool, I let the compliance team know, with receipts. He resigned before the meeting. Diane got caught in a plugin scandal 2 weeks later. I never said a word. After that, people started calling me measured. Professional under pressure. It was hilarious. They thought I didn't notice the change in tone, the stiffer greetings, the way no one wanted to CC me unless they had to. But that was the point. You don't fear loud people. You fear the quiet ones who watch. I lived in a high-rise, expensive, clean, furniture that looked like it came from a tech ad. No one visited. I ordered food. I kept my space cold. I never posted personal things online. I didn't need validation. I had access. Most people seek connection. I sought patterns. When I felt nothing, I opened up Trace, my tone analysis tool. I fed it text messages I never sent. I am fine. Probability of truth, 39%. I don't need anyone. Probability of truth, 81%. It didn't lie. Neither did I. A cousin got engaged, the same one who once said I'd never be wife material. 2 weeks later, her fiancé got an anonymous email containing screenshots of her texts calling him stupid but stable. And one where she said, "If Mira can be alone forever, so can I. I'll survive." She blamed her friends. She never knew. That's the thing about information. It can be fire or ice. You choose how to wield it. Some nights I'd scroll through the chat logs like they were photo albums. Not to hurt myself, just to confirm what happened. To make sure I didn't imagine it all. The jokes, the dismissals, the times I was erased in real time. Everyone acts shocked when the quiet one remembers everything. They shouldn't be. Silence isn't forgetfulness. It's archiving. I don't like calling it revenge. I like calling it correction. They wrote a version of me they could dismiss. I rewrote it in code. And this time, I backed it up. By 30, I'd learned 2 things. Power is silent. Fear is a form of respect, crude but reliable. I was no longer the girl people overlooked in meetings. Now, people waited for me to speak. Carefully. Nervously. But I didn't speak much. I didn't need to. I had access. The company changed titles again. I was now Director of Information Security. Bigger role. More salary. Still not a lot of ceremony. Someone left a generic card on my desk that said, "Congrats, boss lady." I threw it away. That same day, I noticed something off in our data logs. Movement where there shouldn't have been movement. Files accessed in the middle of the night, zipped, transferred, and wiped. I built this system. They thought they could outsmart me on it? Please. 3 employees, 2 senior engineers and a product manager. Sneaking out intellectual property, building a side product, planning to undercut our own platform with stolen architecture. I didn't report them. Not at first. I studied them for 3 months. I built a shadow log just for them. Every click, every whisper, every off-record Slack chat, every just between us. The product manager once sent a meme about me. When you realize the scary IT girl is probably watching this right now. He was right. When I had enough, I sent one anonymous packet to legal. No commentary, just facts. Raw data. No room to spin. They were gone in under a week. The office didn't ask who blew the whistle, but they started looking at me like maybe I already knew what they were thinking before they said it. Good. Then there was Robert, my boss, my former boss. He liked to interrupt me, liked to rephrase my ideas with dumber words and call them his own, liked to call me Mira, even after a year of correction. I tolerated it because I was busy rewriting the company's entire security framework. But then I found something, a Slack thread, old but still alive. Robert joking about me. She probably sleeps in a server room. That girl is 100% silicone. Hilarious. I didn't confront him. I just accessed his synced cloud folders. He didn't realize his personal Google Drive was still linked to his company device. Inside, fake peer reviews, manipulated metrics, a few drafts of emails he'd written from burner accounts praising himself and subtly trashing the rest of us. Sloppy. I created a folder labeled For HR, sent it from an encrypted external source, attached receipts, dated everything. He moved on to new opportunities before the end of the quarter. He sent me a message, no hard feelings. You're going to go far. I didn't reply. My brother was still spiraling. Debt, divorce, bankruptcy pending. He texted me, if you ever cared about family, now would be the time to prove it. Bold, coming from someone who once said, you'll never be one of us. You're too robot. I checked his DMs again. He was telling someone I emotionally abandoned him, that I owed him because I got lucky with my career. He didn't know how much of his luck came from not having to carry silence like I did. I transferred him $2,000, then flagged his name in my mental blacklist. Help doesn't mean forgive. I fed some of my journal entries into Trace one night. I feel nothing about any of it. Truth probability, 57%. They all got what they deserved. Truth probability, 73%. I don't care if they like me now. Truth probability, 49%. That last one stung a little. So I added, I'm not trying to be liked anymore, just remembered correctly. Truth probability, 91%. That one I believed. The intern came back. Alyssa, she was quiet like I used to be. Didn't say much. Asked the right questions. Stayed late. Watched everything. They thought she was awkward. I knew better. I taught her things no one taught me. Let her shadow me on a few deeper security audits. Let her run tests and fail privately. One day she looked at me and said, you always look so calm. How do you stay that way? I said, I don't stay calm. I just don't broadcast. She nodded like she understood. I think she did. I overheard 2 engineers talking in the parking garage. They didn't see me. Do you think she's watching us? I don't know, man. She creeps me out sometimes, like she's not even human. I didn't stop walking. I didn't turn around. But that night, I opened a blank file and wrote one line. I am not a ghost. Then I saved it. No folder, no tags, just in case I ever forgot. There comes a point when the wins stop feeling like victories. When you stop checking the metrics. When the silence in your apartment isn't peace, it's just space no one fills. I reached that point at 34. No incident, no breakdown. I just woke up one day, stared at my ceiling, and realized I'd built a perfect life that didn't feel like anything. I had the promotion, the corner office, 2 patent filings with my name on them, 3 published white papers. My inbox was full of congratulations and requests. My nights were full of nothing. People respected me now, or feared me, or both. No one joked about the weird IT girl anymore, but no one really knew me either. Sometimes I scrolled through old logs, not to plot, not to expose, just to remember why I started all this. I kept looking for something that would feel like justice. It never did. It started with a podcast. Some guy talking about grief like it was data, something you stored, compressed, and never really deleted. I listened twice. Then I signed up for a voice-only therapy app. No video. No real name, just a woman on the other end of a call asking me questions I didn't want to answer. She asked what I did. I monitor and secure systems. She said, what about your own? I hung up, but I called back the next week. And the next. Eventually, I said something I hadn't said in over a decade. I think I'm angry. She said, that's not weakness. That's a start. Alyssa knocked on my door one afternoon. She was full-time now, confident, smarter than most of the senior staff. I wanted to thank you, she said, not just for the mentorship, for being here. I didn't know what to say, so I said, okay. Later, I opened an old folder on my desktop labeled Trace Legacy. Inside, the early logs, the scripts that cataloged every insult, every betrayal, every threat. I hovered over it, didn't delete it. But I didn't open it either. That was progress, right? One night, I wrote a message to my cousin, the one who said I'd never survive the real world. I know you said things you probably don't even remember. I do. I'm not looking for closure. I just wanted you to know I'm still here, still standing. I didn't sign it. I didn't expect a reply. She never sent one. I archived the email and moved on. It didn't hurt. Not really. It just confirmed what I already knew. Some people don't change. Some stories stay ugly. My mom sent a message on a Sunday. Your brother's trying to do better. Maybe you could talk to him. I didn't answer, but I watched him through his online activity. He was trying. Therapy forums, budget spreadsheets. No more late-night scams or blame game posts. He wasn't lying anymore. That didn't make it okay. It didn't undo anything, but it made the silence feel less bitter. I transferred another $500. No message. No conditions. I drove past our childhood home one day. I don't even know why. The fence was gone. The tree out front had been cut down. The windows were the same, though. I didn't go inside. I just stood on the sidewalk and thought about that little girl sitting on the floor with a busted keyboard, trying to code her way into a world that made more sense than the one she lived in. I whispered something to her, soft and stupid, "You made it." Then I got back in the car. I logged into Eyes Wide that night. The server still ran. Still perfect. Still ruthless. Every secret, every backup, every receipt from 10 years of watching. I clicked select all, paused, then hit delete. It asked if I was sure. I clicked yes. And for the first time in a long time, I felt something. Not relief, not regret, just space. I started writing again, not code, a guide, something for the quiet ones, the overlooked, the underestimated, a free site, clean, anonymous, tutorials on protecting yourself online, recognizing workplace manipulation, setting digital boundaries. I didn't sign it, but people found it anyway. It went viral on some women in tech forum. I started getting emails, real ones, from people who reminded me of me. Thank you. I thought I was the only one. They weren't. They never were. I just couldn't see them through the noise. You don't undo decades of silence with a few kind gestures. But you can stop carrying it, one log file at a time. I once believed silence was my only weapon, that if I stayed quiet long enough, gathered enough proof, watched long enough, I'd win. And I did. But no one tells you what winning feels like when you win alone. Now that it's quiet again, real quiet, I figured I should speak. Not to them, to you. Maybe you were the girl no one took seriously. The weird one, the quiet one. The one who got picked last for everything except blame. Maybe they laughed when you said you liked computers. Maybe they told you tech wasn't for girls, or said it with their eyes, or said it behind your back and thought you'd never hear. Maybe they still don't take you seriously. Good. That means they won't see you coming. They thought I was harmless. I let them. They thought my silence meant I didn't feel. They confused restraint with weakness, and when I had the tools, the knowledge, the keys to their digital lives, I used them. I exposed liars, destroyed careers, dismantled reputations brick by smug brick, and I didn't feel guilty. Not then. Some people say revenge is hollow. It wasn't. It was clean, honest, sharper than anything they ever threw at me, but it didn't fix anything. I was still me, just with fewer targets. No one saw me panic the first time I read those private chats. No one saw the way I stared at my screen, rereading messages from people who once kissed my cheek at family dinners and then joked about me being programmed wrong. They didn't see the heartbreak in the exposure, only the vengeance. No one sees how lonely it is to be right all the time. People ask if I regret it. I don't regret exposing the boss who stole my work. I don't regret sending evidence to legal when they pretended my ideas were his. I don't regret showing the world exactly who they were when no one was looking. They earned that. But I do regret the people I cut off without a word. The ones who didn't know better, who were clumsy, not cruel, the ones I punished because I was tired of being everyone's target. They didn't deserve it. Some nights, that sticks. I wrote something once. I never sent it. I'm not mad at you for not understanding. I'm mad that you never even tried. That's what it came down to. I didn't want praise. I just wanted someone to ask me how I was without expecting me to smile through it. If you're in that place, alone in the server room of your own head, surrounded by static and doubt, let me tell you something I wish I'd heard. You're not broken. You're building. And one day, the people who laughed will come crawling back, needing the very thing they mocked you for loving. And when they do, you'll have a choice. I chose silence once. Then I chose revenge. Then I chose peace. Not forgiveness. Not for all of them. Just peace, for me. Peace enough to stop opening old logs. Peace enough to build something new without needing blood on the keyboard. I still work in security, but the thing I protect most now? Myself. Not with walls, with clarity. I don't need to watch everyone anymore. I just need to know who's worth letting in. They called me weird. They mocked me for being a girl in IT. They said I'd never make it. And now they spell my name correctly when they ask for help. But I don't always answer. Some doors stay closed, some firewalls stay up, not out of fear, out of choice. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe for more content. If you want to share your stories, please comment below. Additionally, what is your opinion on the poster's decision?